It doesn't matter how careful you might be, sometimes a whistle, alarm or set of keys isn't going to protect you from an attacker. Now there's a push to legalise devices like tasers for public use.
In a matter of seconds, offenders are taken down. It's a weapon used by police to shock and stun.
If they're well trained and deploy it properly, it'll work every time.
A tool on their belt that cops hope they don't need to deploy, but when they do, it's fast, painful and effective. Tonight, calls to legalise non-lethal self-defence weapons like tasers and pepper spray.
Feeling safe is important, being safe is more important.
I'd rather be fined than killed.
Jacqueline Boyd is pro-tasers. 17 years ago, she became an amputee after a motorbike accident and now uses crutches every day. She says she needs a way to protect herself.
All women do, because we're vulnerable, and I didn't want to have to carry a knife, because if you carry a knife, you can really hurt someone, and a taser, you don't hurt a person.
Okay, well, welcome to Shielder's Taser Party.
Overseas, owning a taser can be reality. There are even taser parties in lounge rooms across the United States where people can test them and buy any style and colour as long as they pass a background check. Despite being illegal here in Australia, Jacqueline admits she once owned a taser.
The fear of a fine is nothing compared to your life. I wouldn't let that stand in my way. I wouldn't let that bother me at all. Once
you are in actual fear of being attacked, then I think it would be appropriate to at least be ready. And if you are attacked, at that stage, I think all bets are off and whatever you've got, you use.
Supporting her calls to legalise tasers is former police officer and now Victorian State MP, Jeff Borman. He's calling for a parliamentary inquiry into self-defence.
At this point in time, you're actually allowed to defend yourself in Victoria using whatever force you deem necessary, but you're allowed absolutely nothing at all to do it.
But even on the police front line, not all officers are authorised to carry the stun guns. These videos are from the South Australian Police Force. In precarious situations, officers resort to a taser. Here they confront a man with a knife.
Look, for me it's a great tool. Someone at least can then stand up afterwards, get some aftercare and live to tell the story.
Earlier this month, a New South Wales coroner found police officers involved in the fatal shooting of a man at Central Station in 2017 should have been carrying stun guns. 30-year-old Danikun Mockman was shot in the head after he ran at police while holding scissors during a psychotic episode. Police on the scene did not have tasers.
The police do not want to start shooting people when they don't have to, but when there's no other resort to do, they always rely on the firearm.
It's horrible when an officer has to confront that sort of thing, revert to lethal force. It's not what they want to do.
George Haitley is a former Special Operations police officer. He used to import tasers on behalf of the police force and thinks training is paramount.
Any sort of weapon that a person has, be it something out of their handbag that they suddenly think, I'll use this as a weapon. If they don't use it properly, be turned on them, and it could be quite problematic.
So you think this is a good alternative to a taser?
It's a far better alternative. It's a warning device. It's a
George says there are other ways for people to defend themselves and feel safe.
They can simply point, blast them with the sound and warn people around.
And how easy is it to use then?
It's easy. You have a go, but just don't point it at me.
Okay, so this way?
Yep.
Oh, God, that is piercing.
It is.
That would deter anybody.
Bottom line is the community aren't trained in that. Leave them in the hands of law enforcement. That's where it should be.
Charlie Bazina is a former homicide squad detective. He fears the danger tasers pose if they were legalised in the community.
People will be using them inappropriately. They're not trained to use them. There's certainly some aftercare when someone gets hit with a taser, same as OC spray.
But at a time when public safety is paramount and in the spotlight, the calls are getting louder.
The police are doing a very tough job. There is not near enough of them to be able to be everywhere all the time.
Anything can happen at any time. I think that so long as you're vulnerable, you've got a problem and you need to do something.
We're running a Facebook poll to see if you think non-lethal weapons should be legalised for everyday people. 74% of you agree and 26% don't.